Welcome back to the channel. Today let's draft a princess dart bustier, and as you can see here I am drawing my starting point, that's the green line, and then I'm going ahead to take all of my vertical measurements, the bust point, the under bust and the waist area. So I'm going to rule out all of these lines and then label them afterwards. These are the vertical measurements, guys. Take note. Yes, so after this, I went ahead to label the bust point, the under bust, and the waist area. Now I'm going to take my nipple to nipple distance. I'm taking that all the way down, and I'm going to rule on that line. Just so you know, I'm ruling with a biro to denote my main ruling from the other ones. So now I am going to go ahead and mark my shoulder point, and then I marked where the neckline is going to start from, just so I could go down by 1 inch from that shoulder area for shoulder slant. And then I am taking my armhole measurement, which is 8 inches. Now I am rolling that out, and it's going to serve as the chest line. So now, guys, to get our curves and the darts that will be taken out, I went in by half of an inch on the folded parts close to me, and then 1.5 inch on the other side of the fabric. As you can see, I am rolling them out. Now, with the help of a curve ruler, we'll be shaping that out. But first, let's go down and upwards by half of an inch directly on the bust area, just so we don't have a pointed sharp curve when we are curving this out. You can see with the help of a curve ruler, you'll be able to curve out your shapes, and mind you, do not let these curves be too deep. Just follow out your bust area shape. You know how your bust is better, so that way you would ensure that your curves are not too deep, so it will not be too difficult to sew. Now on that chest area, I went ahead to measure my bust measurement, and then I put the tape at the middle of the armhole measurement, just so I can get the armhole curve area. And at that middle part, I went in by half of an inch, and I'm using my curved ruler to curve it into an armhole shape. Remember, the front armhole is different from the back armhole. Now we are going to connect our darts from the armhole area, which is the princess dart that we are trying to work with, to the bust point that we have measured. So now I'm measuring the full armhole that I have now, and at 5 inches, which is half of the armhole measurement, I'm going to mark rather half of an inch at both sides of the point, and then connect it to the half of an inch above the bust point area. That way our princess armhole dart has been formed. So now it's just to finish up and then connect half inch of both darts on the armhole, connect it to that half inch above the bust point. I hope I'm making sense, guys. So once you connect, then you're able to completely curve out your dart area around that side. So now take note, the 1 inch that we took out from that side, we are going to replace it on the fuller part of the bust area, and around that side we will be marking a new armhole. So take note, guys, I'm just extending the line here, and then I'm going to be curving it out. But before then, I'm going to be taking all of the horizontal measurements, those are the round measurements, and you'll be dividing those by 4, and you'll be adding your sewing allowance and the dart allowance that we've taken out. So let's take, for instance, my waist is 36, and I have gone to divide that by 4, which is 9, plus 2 inches dart that we took out, and then extra 2 inches for sewing allowance. The same thing I did for the under bust and the bust area. The measurement on the bust area is going to be transferred to the chest area, and all of these will be connected like so. and our front bodice is almost ready, guys. Now I am just cutting it out. So guys, remember I said we are going to be creating another armhole curve right there. So I forgot to do that the first time. So now I'm going to be replacing that 1 inch back on the chest measurement area, and I'm going to be connecting that point to the new 1 inch that we have at the fuller part of the bust area, and this would form my new curve around that side. So now I'm going to be cutting out all of these parts. Take note guys, if you're going to be cutting on your main fabric, you're going to be adding half of an inch or quarter of an inch at this part that we've cut out, just so you're not short of fabric when you're cutting out on your fabric. And this is what we have for the front bodice. So now on the back bodice, I went ahead to create a zipper allowance, and I'm ruling that out. Zipper allowance of 2 inches, deem fit to create yours as much as you want. And here I've gone to draw out all the lines that I had before. And remember, the armhole area for the back is different from the front. Now this is what we have. So except for the under bust line, every other line that I created on the front block is what I have on the back block, except for the under bust block. So now on the waistline, you're going to be taking your measurement divided by 4, and then you had 1 inch for that intake. So now at the midpoint there, you're going to be taking your nipple to nipple measurement plus half of an inch, which is 4.5 inches for me. And then I'm going to be going out by half of an inch on both sides to create my dart leg for the back area. And now this is what I have. So the length of your dart is dependent on how you want it. Now take note guys, for the zipper area we're going to be shaping it out just so we eliminate any kind of bulge. So at the waist area, I'm going to be taking off half of an inch, and then I'm going to connect it to the top part like so, as you can see. And then I'm connecting the side lines as well. So here I didn't create a neckline for the front, but I chose to create it for the back, so you can see what I'm talking about when creating necklines and adding extra inch to your shoulder line, because when you're cutting on your fabric you need these extra inches to join your shoulders. So this is what we have now. This is our new neckline, new shoulder line. So here it is guys, and I'm just cutting this out. Feel free to explore your dart area. You can decide to cut it open or leave it as it is, then you just pick. This is what we have guys. Thank you for watching. You can find the joining video on the channel. Bye.